Afternoon. Welcome to the Dell Music Lounge live audience. Say hello on the radio. Our Dell Music Lounge, of course, brought to you by Dell, Oscar Blues Brewery, and we fed our live audience today Torchy's Tacos. So I managed to do that without dripping queso on a black shirt, which it's a victory. So whatever happens from here is going to be fine for me. Vance Joy is with us, and we say this from time to time. There is absolutely no reason for Vance Joy to be with us. He's gracious enough on a day off, a day he could be spending doing any number of other things on a busy touring schedule, to come to a city he's not playing, not trying to sell tickets to, and play in the afternoon for you folks and for us on the radio. So we'll start with that. We appreciate that.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming out. It's a good vibe in here. Feels like a show.
Without any further ado, live on KGSR from our Dell Music Lounge, Vance Joy.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. This is a song called Fire and the Flood. I was only walking through your neighborhood, saw your light on honey in the cold. I stood anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. And I've been getting used to waking up with you. I've been getting used to waking up here. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. There you are. There you are. You're the fire and the flood, and I always feel you in my blood. Everything is fine. Lightness in my step. You're miles away, but I still feel you. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. And late at night, when you can't fall asleep, I'll be lying right beside you, counting sheep. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. There you are, there you are. You're the fire and the flood, and I always feel you in my blood. Everything is fine when your head's resting next to you'll know, and I know. You're the fire and the flood, and I always feel you in my blood. Everything is fine when your head's resting next to mine, next to mine. You're the fire and the flood. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. So it's a short set, but this is my next song is a relatively new one called "Lay It On Me." I'm so gone. Anyone could see that I'm wasted. You cut through, and I just wanna know what's in your head. Write it on a piece of paper, honey. Put it in my coat before I go. Hidden in a place you know I'll find it. Oh, later when I'm sitting all alone, let me in. Everything starts at your skin, so new. Your love's always finding me out. Down, everything is new and different. I found you hidden in plain sight. Why'd I take so long? Write it on a piece of paper, honey. Put it in my coat before I go. And let me in. Everything starts at your skin, so new. Your love's always finding me out. Who am I kidding? If all my defenses come down, baby, baby, will you lay it all on me now? Lay it all on me now. Lay it all on me now. Lay it all on me now. Lay it all on me, oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Your love's always finding me out. Who am I kidding? If all my defenses come down, baby, baby, will you lay it all on me now? Lay it all on me now. 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 Thank you.
Vance Joy live in our Dell Music Lounge. Years ago at South by Southwest, before there were arenas, before we knew these songs,
Yeah.
we talked about, because it was really all we knew about you, was that you used to play Australian rules football or rugby. Is it the same thing?
Different thing, but Australian rules football, yeah. It's just a sport that's kind of contained within Australia, a crazy sport where people run in all directions and jump into each other.
So we talked about how you used to play this violent sport, and there's a disconnect between these sort of subtle love songs and the violent sport that you come from.
Yeah.
But now you've picked up Frisbee,
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense. It makes much more sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's way more polite.
It's much more polite. It's much more of a zen kind of sport, Frisbee, where it's like the Frisbee will fly and rotate and just wait. And it's very like on the beach kind of sport. And I was thinking about this actually. I was like, am I like, because I used to, I guess, you play a physical sport like football and you think, oh, I'm like a physical, like rough and tumble kind of guy. And I think when I was on the field, like I was competitive, and there is a part of me that's that, but I think it's kind of getting quieter and quieter. And now I'm like throwing the Frisbee and I'm like walking in like the garden and smelling the flowers. And I'm like, who am I?
You've got your own line of frisbees now, I understand?
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I think, are they selling at Merch Rach? Are they doing all right? I don't know. I don't know if Rach is in here, but she's my manager.
So you're selling them, you just don't know if anyone's buying them.
I don't know if anyone's buying them. Because we could have sold, I love Frisbee, and I wanted, I guess, to share the love of Frisbee, and we had the choice between, like, you know, your kind of very cheap Frisbee, or you get like one that really flies, and I'm like, I want one that like flies and is good. So I think we've invested in the Frisbees, and if they don't sell, it's okay. I'll just have a lot of Frisbees.
Because
like 1,000.
Boomerangs would be too obvious.
Pardon?
Boomerangs would be too obvious.
Oh, they're so dangerous. I went to the, I went to a park near my house, and there were some tourists who this is a park where like people walk their dogs and families and little kids are playing, and there were some tourists there that were throwing boomerangs, wooden boomerangs, and I'm like, those are like weapons made to kill animals, like, and I'm like you don't know where they're coming from, like they fly in all directions. Anyway. Much safer. Frisbees are so much safer.
You mentioned a park near your house. Your house is Mom's house.
Yeah. I should make that.
No, we don't picture the guy who's playing arenas and has hit songs living at home with Mom, but that's what you're doing. Yeah. Because you're out on the road.
Because I'm out on the road, yeah. Right. There's not really much point in keeping a place in Melbourne. So when I come home, I'm only home for a couple of weeks at a time. I stay with my folks. But we just... yeah, we've got a house down by the beach at the moment, which is really nice. So I think everyone's doing shifts. So if they get sick of me or if I get sick of them, we can kind of, there's an escape. But yeah, I actually really like being at home and walking around in the local area and kind of just going to the local cafes and stuff. And yeah, that's my hood.
What level of tolerance does your mother have for rock star behavior?
Oh, it's, geez. I hope I always trying to check myself to make sure it's not, that I'm not doing anything too diva-ish. I don't know. I was in the car. We were going down to the beach, and I don't know why I was in a bad mood. But I was driving, and Mum was talking a lot, and I don't know what she was saying. I was like, Mum, I don't know why, but I'm in a really foul mood right now. And she's like, okay. She's like, okay, we'll go and get lunch. We'll get like a coffee. We'll just like, and she came in. She went into damage control mode, and I was like, Mum, she's got my back. But I think the diva behavior isn't too bad. I mean, you should ask my manager. She would actually know much more. Yeah. She's like, yeah, he orders like Frisbees and he demands that we have like a whole line of skateboards. But I don't know. It's better not to ask me. I'm going to give you a different report.
When you're in a bad mood, you don't write, right? Because these are all happy songs.
Yeah.
Is there a set of songs that you've set away that are dark, foreboding? Have you ever allowed yourself to write one of those?
Honestly, I think the closest I get is like happy song tinged with a bit of like melancholy or something. It might be sad, but it's not. It's kind of like a happy, sad kind of bittersweet kind of balance. I don't think there's no real angry. I was in a band after high school, and we had one angry lead guitarist, and he would just want to solo over everything, and we didn't last too long. We didn't get on.
You were in a band that played what? Blink-182 and Green Day covers?
Yeah, they were the songs that kind of got me into guitar, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, again, a disconnect between what you do now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess it's like you try on a bunch of different hats, and then you find one that kind of fits. And I definitely played. I remember having to. I was at school in year 9, so I was 14, and I was filling in for one of the rock bands. Rock bands at our school, the one band, and it was a Blink-182 song, and I had to play like guitar in it, and I remember just like totally mincing the whole guitar line, and I was like, I think I'm just going to stick with like G major, D major, and C major chords on an acoustic guitar.
I saw not that long ago an interview with a guitar magazine where they're used to talking to people who are very serious about their gear, and it's all about this expensive Les Paul or that one, and you're like, I buy some cheap ukuleles, and really it was an interesting interview because of how easy and cheap your gear is.
Yeah. I that was cool, that interview, and I guess it was, I have a guy in my band who plays bass, but he's an absolute beast on guitar, and he knows everything about every instrument, and it's incredible to watch him like backstage. He's like jamming, playing every song. You say, play this, he can do it. And that's not necessarily my forte, but I think everyone has their own style of playing, so I guess I just embrace my limitations. And with guitars, I find that you pick up like a really average guitar at a music shop, or even, you know, wherever it is, a friend's guitar, it's a bit out of tune, a bit busted up. I don't know, there's something comfortable about that guitar that I like to just muck around on. So I find that I've written a lot of songs, not always on the nice Gibson or the nice, you know, Martin, but it's always on like some cheap junky ukulele or a nylon string that's missing a string. So I kind of I gravitate towards that end of the spectrum.
But there's a finger picking thing you do that's sort of become your sound, or has very much become your sound.
Yeah, I like to finger pick. I think, I think you there's always a couple of rhythms. There's like down, down, up, up, down, up. And that's like every song I've ever played. So they're all pretty much that. But if you go, then you kind of do that, and then. So you can kind of like hammer on and pull off, and there's kind of ways you can kind of jazz it up a bit without getting too jazzy.
See, on the first thing, your head goes up and down. On the other thing, your head goes side to
is that
side.
What happens?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
that's how you know what I'm playing.
Exactly.
If there's no sound.
All right. Once again, live on KGSR. And I should mention this because it really, like I said, he's not got a gig. This is the only thing he's in town for. But you can buy the record. It's called Nation of Two, and it's relatively new. So Vance Joy's record is available wherever it is that you buy records. And once again, live on KGSR, Vance Joy.
Thank you. Okay, cool. This is a song called Saturday Sun. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the West Coast. I gotta get back, I can't let this go. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs. No ray of sunlight's ever lost. So tired of sleeping alone, so tired of eating alone. I need to ask her, what's going on? Are we going strong? She felt like rest in her head. My shoulder was the perfect height. We fit so right. So what's going on? 'Cause I've been undone. The long drive to coastline, looking out at first light. Am I still on her mind? I've been undone.